Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Diriya Nashtaprayesha Vatreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. So continuing with the discussion on Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Antya Lila, chapter 20th, the Shikshashtaka prayers. Text 48 onwards. Ami Krishna Padadasi, Teho Rasa Sukha Rashi, Alingiya Kare Atma Shata. Kivana Deya Darshan Jarin Mora, Tanumana, Tabu Teho Mora Prananatha. I am a maidservant at the lotus feet of Krishna. He is the embodiment of transcendental happiness and mellows. If he likes, he can tightly embrace me and make me feel oneness with him. Or by not giving me his audience, he may corrode my mind and body. Nevertheless, it is he who is the Lord of my life. So this is the mood of Srimati Radha. Sakhi hai shunna mora manera nishchay, kiba anurag kare, kiba dukh diya mare, mora praneshwara Krishna anyanai. My dear friend, just hear the decision of my mind. Krishna is the Lord of my life in all conditions, whether he shows me affection or kills me by giving me unhappiness. Chadi anya nari gana mor vasha tanu mana mor saubhagya prakat kariya tasabare deya pida amasane kare krida sei nari gane dekhaya. Sometimes Krishna gives up the company of other gopis and becomes a controlled body, mind and body by me. Thus he manifests my good fortune and gives others distress by performing his loving affairs with me. Kivate ho lampata shat dhrishta sakapat anya nari gana kari satha. Mor dite mana pida mor age kare krida. Tabu teno mor prananatha. For since, after all, he is very cunning, obstinate debauchee with the propensity to cheat, he takes to the company of other women. He then indulges in loving affairs with them in front of me to give distress to my mind. Nevertheless, he is still the Lord of my life. Nagani apana dukha sabe vanchi tara sukha amara tatparya. More yadi diya dukha tara haila maha sukha sei dukha more sukhavarya. I do not mind my personal distress. I only wish for the happiness of Krishna. For his happiness is the goal of my life. However, if he feels great happiness in giving me distress, that distress is the best of my happiness. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur says that a devotee does not care about his own happiness and distress. He is simply interested in seeing that Krishna is happy, and for that purpose, he engages in various activities. A pure devotee has no way of sensing happiness except by seeing that Krishna is happy in every respect. If Krishna becomes happy by giving him distress, such a devotee accepts that unhappiness as the greatest of all happiness. Those who are materialistic, however, who are very proud of material wealth and have no spiritual knowledge, like the Prakrit Sahajas, regard their own happiness as the aim of life. Some of them aspire to enjoy themselves by sharing the happiness of Krishna. This is the mentality of fruitive workers who want to enjoy sense gratification by making a show of service to Krishna. So, huge difference between the mood of a devotee, especially Srimati Radharani, and those so-called devotees, Prakrit Sahajas. Radharani is saying, if Krishna is happy, by giving me distress. Of course, Krishna doesn't want to give distress to her, but she is saying that in the process, if he is with other gopi and and Krishna's happiness is more important for a devotee than his or her own. That is love. That is, I mean, the essence, the perfection of love. In material world, everybody wants to be happy. They want their happiness. And actually that is called lust. So no matter what, they want their happiness. And if they are happy, they think, oh, Krishna is happy. Because ultimately, it's like shooting a gun by using the shoulder of Krishna. No. So that is why material world is completely perverted reflection of the spiritual world. There everybody is working for Krishna's happiness. Just like once Krishna in Dwarka, he was trying to show the queens of Dwarka why gopis are the greatest devotees, greatest lovers of Krishna. Why Krishna, even in his dreams, although he is with the queens of Dwarka, he's always talking about gopis, especially Srimati Radharani. So Krishna devised a plan to show them how these gopis are the superior, are the best. So next day when he got up, Krishna showed that he has fever and severe headache. So the queens, obviously they love Krishna, they want to serve Krishna, they want Krishna to be happy. They asked, what can we do? They called the doctors to find out what's wrong and how can we get him cured. And it so happens that Narad Muni came by. So Narad Muni was also unhappy, in distress, seeing Krishna is suffering. So Krishna said, give me the dust of my devotee. I'll put that on my head, on my forehead, and then I'll be okay. So Narad Muni, he was in Dwarka, so he asked the queens, give me the dust of your lotus feet, I'll put it on Krishna's forehead and he'll get okay. And queen said, no, how can we give her? He's our husband, he's our king. How can we give dust of our lotus feet? It's not possible. Okay. Then Narad Muni went everywhere. In Dwarka, like Akrurji, Uddhavji, yes, everybody. Nobody else ready to give dust of the lotus feet. Of course, their thought was that Krishna, we all love him, but we respect him. How can we give dust of our lotus feet? Because first of all, they didn't believe that this so-called remedy will work. So Narad went all over. Finally, he came to Braj and he saw some gopis taking out water from a well. And gopis saw Naradji and they paid respects. They said, Naradji, how come you are in Braj? What are you looking? Who do you want to see? What is happening? So Narad Muni told this story that Krishna is very sick. His head is ache. He's got a headache. So he wants a dust of the lotus feet of his devotees that we put on his forehead and then he'll get okay. Gopi said, so okay, so where is the Bartan? How are you going to take the dust? Take as much dust as you want from our feet. Narad Muni, you will go to hell if your dust of your feet touches the forehead of Krishna. And gopis were like, it doesn't matter whether we go to hell or wherever we go. It doesn't matter at all. Krishna should be okay. So that's the difference. Once even Prabhupada, even when he started the movement, he had paralysis stroke, he had heart attacks. And once he was very sick, and there was either some meeting or preaching engagement, and he got ready to go for that engagement. And devotees asked him, Prabhupada, you're not okay, you're not well, please take some rest. And Prabhupada said, I'm trying to remember the exact quote. This is my privilege to struggle for Krishna. So don't deny me that privilege. So that struggle, it was giving him happiness by being able to serve Krishna, or serve the movement of Krishna. Same thing, it's the same thing. So this is the mood of Srimati Radharani. Ye nari re vanche Krishna, tare rupe satrishna, tare na paya haya dukhi, mui tare paya badi, laya yana hate dhari, krila karaya tare karam sukhi. If Krishna, attracted by the beauty of some other woman, wants to enjoy with her but is unhappy because he cannot get her, I'll fall down at her feet, catch her hand and bring her to Krishna to engage her for his happiness. Very, very high sentiment. Kanta Krishna kare roja, Krishna paye santosha, sukha paye tada na barsane. Yatha yogya kare mana, Krishna tate sukha pana, chade mana alpa sadhane. When a beloved gopi shows symptoms of anger towards Krishna, Krishna is very satisfied. Indeed, he is extremely pleased when chastised by such a gopi. She shows her pride suitably, and Krishna enjoys that attitude. Then she gives up her pride with a little endeavor. Sei nari jiye kene Krishna marma vyatha jane, tabu Krishna kare gada roshan. Nij sukhe mane kaj, padup tare shire vaj, Krishna matra chahiye santosha. Why does a woman continue to live who knows that Krishna's heart is unhappy but who still shows her deep anger towards him? She is interested in her own happiness. I condemn such a woman to be struck on the head with a thunderbolt, for we simply want the happiness of Krishna. So a devotee who is satisfied only with his own sense gratification suddenly falls down from the service of Krishna. Being attracted by material happiness, he later joins the Prakrit Sahajas who are considered to be non-devotees. Ye gopi mare kare dveshe, Krishna kare santoshe, Krishna jare kare abhilasha, mohi tare ghare jaya, tare sevu dasi haya, tabe mor sukhe ullasa. If a gopi envious of me satisfies Krishna and Krishna desires her, I shall not hesitate to go to her house and become her maidservant, for then my happiness will be awakened. Kushti viprera ramani, pativrata shirumani, pati lagi kaila veshyara seva. Stambila suryera gati, jiyaila mritapati, tushtu kaila mukhya tina deva. The wife of a Brahmin suffering from leprosy manifested herself as the topmost of all chaste women by serving a prostitute to satisfy her own husband. She thus stopped the movement of the sun, brought her dead husband back to life, and satisfied the three principal demigods, Brahma, Vishnu, and Maheshwara. So this is a story Three Puranas tell us. The Aditya Puran, Markandeya Puran, and Padma Puran tell about a Brahmin who was suffering from leprosy, but had a very chaste and faithful wife. He desired to enjoy the company of a prostitute, and therefore his wife went to her and became her maidservant just to draw her attention for his service. When the prostitute agreed to associate with him, the wife brought her the leprotic husband. With that leper, the sinful son of a Brahmin saw the chastity of his wife. He finally abandoned his sinful intentions. While coming home, however, he touched the body of Markandeya Rishi, who thus cursed him to die at sunrise. Because of her chastity, the woman was very powerful. Therefore, when she heard about the curse, she vowed to stop the sunrise. Because of her strong determination to serve her husband, the three deities, namely Brahma, Vishnu, and Maheshwar, were very happy, and they gave her the benediction that her husband would be cured and brought back to life. This example is given here and to emphasize that a devotee should engage himself exclusively for the satisfaction of Krishna, without personal motives. That will make his life successful. So, this story of this Brahmani, so her husband, Brahman, was a leper, but somehow he developed attraction for this prostitute. But they didn't have money. So she was so chaste for that she wanted to serve her husband at any cost. Even his desire was completely wrong. So she didn't have money. So she started going to that prostitute's house and started serving her without telling her her intentions. So after a few days, or maybe a month passed by, the prostitute said, "Well, I have to pay you. I want to give you something. What do you want?" She then told her that my husband wants to have some time with you. Prostitute was surprised. "Oh, what kind of lady is this? She's so chaste, so faithful to her husband." She said, "Okay, bring him." So she brought him in the in a carrier, because he was a leper, he could not walk. And prostitute was more surprised. And then prostitute, she asked that Brahman to have some food first. So she served the Brahman, or her maidservant served the Brahman food. They kept same food in a pot of made of mud, and then in a container made of silver. She said, "Eat," and he ate both the food. She said, "What was the difference in the food? Whether the pot is made of silver, the pot is made of mud, the food is same. So whether you have an engagement, have a union with me or union with your wife, it's the same thing. What's the difference?" So then he understood, that the Brahman understood. So then the prostitute started bringing him back, and on the way back, his body touched the body of Markandeya Rishi. Maybe his foot touched the body of Markandeya Rishi. And Markandeya Rishi, he got angry and he said, "Okay, you will die by sunrise." And the Brahmani, she said, "If he's going to die by sunrise, by my vow of purity, I'll not let the sun rise tomorrow." And she sat down in tapasya. And that's when happened. Aruna, or sun's charioteer, the chariot would not move. And chariot didn't move, the whole universe was in darkness, half of the universe. So now then Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, everybody, they tried, they could not move the chariot. So they figured out something is wrong. What's wrong? Then they saw this lady was doing tapasya. And then they came, gave her the benediction, husband would be cured and brought back to life. Then the sun started moving. And then, see, sun is always moving, always on the chariot. So that is uh, when Arun, the charioteer, now there is another story that's linked to Hanumanji's birth. I'll try to find out more details because that is the only time Arun got that. Okay, there is no service right now. Let me enjoy it. Some I got some time off. Otherwise, I'm working 24 hours a day. So there is another story connected with Hanumanji and Bali. It's all pastime by the Lord, orchestrated by the Lord. Um, but finally, many good teachings are there. So this is what Radharani is thinking, that this wife of a Brahmin, she just stopped the movement of the sun. And then finally say, Krishna Mora Jivana, Krishna Mora Pranadana, Krishna Mora Pranera Parana. Hriday upare dharu, seva kari sukhi karu, ei mora sada rahe dhyan. Krishna is my life and soul. Krishna is the treasure of my life. Indeed, Krishna is the very life of my life. I therefore keep him always in my heart and try to please him by rendering service. That is my constant meditation. Mora sukha sevane, Krishnera sukha sangame, Atev deha dana, deha dena dana, Krishna more, Kante kari kahi more, Praneshwari, Mora hai dasi avim. My happiness is in the service of Krishna. Krishna's happiness is in union with me. For this reason, I give my body in charity to the lotus feet of Krishna, who accepts me as his loved one and calls me his most beloved. It is then that I consider myself his maid servant. Okay, this description goes on further, so we'll stop here. See anybody have any questions? Okay, you all have a safe and wonderful day. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Prabhupada.
हरे